28 female dervishes who took part in the gathering in front of the Tehran prosecutor's office and protested against the conditions of imprisoned dervishes have written a letter of complaint to the police officials after being beaten by specialized police guards during the second day of the gathering. Mohammad Amin Agoushi, a 54-year-old retired teacher from the city of Piran-Shar, who is currently serving his 10-year sentence in Zahedan prison, has sewed his lips together and started a hunger strike in order to protest against the prison officials objecting to his medical leave. During the past week, the 6th annual report of the Human Rights Organization of Iran, read by Dr. Mahmoud Amiri in the British Parliament in London, stated that there has been a dramatic increase in the number of executions in Iran in 2013. On Saturday, the 15th of March 2014, a number of human rights activists cooperated with the International Organization to Preserve Human Rights in Iran and formed a gathering in front of the building of the Central Bank of Iran in Hamburg, protesting in support of the mass hunger strikes of political and religious prisoners, including Gonabadi dervishes, currently being held in the dungeons of the Islamic Republic of Iran. On Friday, the 14th of March, after delivering his annual report to the Human Rights Council about human rights in Iran, Ahmed Shaheed, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Iran, took part in a press conference and said that, "Regretfully, I must say that despite the statements made by the Iranian president and the gentle steps that have been taken towards reform, the human rights situation in Iran remains a serious concern." On Tuesday, the 18th of March, a group of peaceful protesters demonstrated against the destruction of monuments.
Shahram Ahmadi is a prisoner of conscience who is sentenced to death in Evin prison. Last week he was faced with a bleeding kidney, and yet the authorities refused to allow him to get treatment. On Sunday morning of the 16th of March, Mr. Ibrahim Sadeghi, a dervish from the city of Shiraz, was interrogated by the security police for hours in a threatening manner. On Sunday evening of the 16th of March, Yekta Fahandej, a Baha'i citizen, was arrested by the Intelligence Ministry agents. Intelligence officers entered and searched her house, confiscated her personal laptop, books and supplies, and took her with them. On Tuesday, the 18th of March 2014, prison guards attempted to inspect Section 10 of Rajai Shah prison, where Sunni prisoners are kept. The guard soldiers and other security forces damaged the personal properties of the prisoners while carrying out their inspections. On the 13th of March 2014, the wife of Saeed Abedini, an Iranian-American priest, said the following in relation to the deterioration of her husband's health and his transfer to Day Hospital of Tehran. She said, "They transferred him from the prison to the hospital with handcuffs and chained legs. They chained a priest to a hospital bed. In the hospital, the behavior of the officials towards him was not good, and his family has not been allowed to meet him." Plainclothes security forces in the village of Namanj in the province of Piran-Shah arrested Samand Sultan, a Kurdish citizen, then went to his father's house in order to do a search, during which time they subjected his family to violence.
There have been reports that the newspaper staff and journalists of Tabnak newspaper, a newspaper reflecting the views of Mohsen Razai, have not been paid a salary for 3 months. The staff of the newspaper have already gone on strike in December due to the delay in the payment of their salaries.
Representatives of textile factory called Mogaddam reported the delay in payment of wages of 4 months, as well as the Persian New Year festival bonus of more than 200 of employees. Qadir Mohammed is a political prisoner held at Section 4 of the Central Prison of Urumiyeh, among other prisoners, some of whom are drug traffickers and murderers. According to reports, a few days ago, he was attacked by several prisoners accusing him of armed robbery and drug trafficking and was badly injured from the neck and back area with a knife. Authorities even refused to transfer this injured political prisoner to the hospital for treatment, and after using stitches and bandages for treatment in the prison, the officials returned him back to the Section 4 of the prison. It is worth mentioning that 8 political prisoners in the Central Prison of Urumiyeh are held in sections related to murder and drug offences, even though they should not be kept in the same section. Hossein Farzin is a former deputy mayor of the city of Mashhad, as well as a TV director. His sentence of 20 lashes was carried out in Vakilabad prison of Mashhad on Thursday the 13th of March 2014. On Sunday the 16th of March 2014, a prisoner accused of murder, known by the name of H.P., the son of Muhammad Reza, was hanged in the central prison of Semnan. Jamal Gushi, the son of Amin Gushi, a political prisoner in Zahedan Central Prison, was sentenced to 1 year's imprisonment on charges of having contact with human rights organizations. The governor of Bandar Abbas city has announced that 3 people convicted of sexual assault and 1 person convicted of murder were hanged in the city of Bandar Abbas. This was done in the presence of political, administrative and judicial officials and with the full security presence, with the intention to create public fear. On Wednesday the 19th of March 2014, a man named Ali, who by introducing himself as a pharmacist, anesthetized and harassed 8 women and young girls, was sentenced to death by the court.
"15 children in a centre for the protection of the physically and mentally disabled, run by the Organisation for Welfare, have died. Despite claims being made about the occurrence of neglect and carelessness, welfare officials have said that the deaths of the children occurred naturally. Despite the passage of 20 days since the arrest of Azerbaijani political activist Akbar Azad, his status and situation remain unknown. Afshin Baimani, a political prisoner who is in Ward 12 of Rajai Shah prison at the moment, is still prohibited from taking sick leave, despite the authorization from the relevant authorities. Arjang Davoodi, a political prisoner in Bandar Abbas Central Prison, has been held in solitary confinement for 4 months. It has been said that Arjang Davoodi has completed his first 10-year sentence, yet been convicted of new charges, and has now been sentenced to a further 20 years and 8 months.